Okay, here we go.
So this is a polynomial, that's a monomial. Why is that a monomial? There's one term. Poly means
One.
many terms.
Many.
Sounds fancy, but just means many terms.
I got that mixed up in my head for some reason.
Alright, so what we're gonna do with these are easier than the ones we're gonna do. We're gonna do binomials, divided by binomials. But how many times does 3x go into 12x cubed? Okay. 4x squared, very good. Okay. And then now this is the same thing as you did long division. Back when you did numbers, remember like you would do 7, how many times does it go into 41? And you would say, how many times? How many times does 7 go? It goes in 5 times, right? And then you do 35, and then what would you do with the two numbers?
It's 36 there.
I said 35, didn't I? I just wrote the wrong thing?
Yes.
Okay. All right, don't correct me in the video.
But then you
No, you're fine. So then we would subtract, right? And then you carry it, and then you keep going, and keep going. Okay, same process here. Now, that goes in evenly, right? So if we multiply it, we get 12x cubed. When we subtract, there's no remainder. All right, so then we just go to the next one. Negative 6x squared.
Negative 2x.
Good job, Caitlin. Negative 2x, then we multiply, of course. And this one will go, all right, now 5x.
It would only go in there one time.
One time, okay? And then when we multiply it, we get 3x.
2x.
So we subtract it, good. You get 2x, bring down the 4. Okay, now, how many times will 3x go into 2x? Well, it won't. So the leftover is your remainder. Okay. So then you remember your remainder, you would write it as
Or, yeah.
2x plus 4 divided by 3x. Be your remainder. Just like this, went here. You've got a remainder of, well, 7 will still go on. You can do that one. Okay. Put them right there. All right, any questions with that? Yes?
So if our answer would be 4x squared and all that, and then also the 2x plus 4?
Yes. Okay. Because that's our remaining fraction. Okay. All right, now, the other ones, when we divide by binomials, a little bit more work to them, but we use the same principle as we did the others.
Gonna have to move just so they can see you write it down.
You're fine.
Okay, I'll sit back down then.
What's that?
Nothing, sir.
Whatever you need to do, Mason. If you stand right beside me, though, that'd be a little weird.
Yes, it would.
Well, that'd be awesome. I mean, we get like
I was not planning on doing that.
go viral. I mean, be the new thing.
I was not planning on doing that, sir. Yeah, dropped your pen.
All right, now, okay, now we have the polynomial divided by a binomial. Now, with this, what you're going to do is you're just going to look how many times this x will go into the first term. We don't use that 4 until we go back and distribute and multiply. So, x to the 4th divided by x is what? X to the what?
4.
X to the
X
4th?
to the 3rd.
X to the 3rd, okay? And then what I would do is, since this term is to the 3rd, we'll line these up, okay? So x to the 3rd times x would be x to the 4th, right? Now we didn't use that 4. We don't use that 4 until we go back and multiply it. And we got to distribute to the whole thing. So x cubed times 4 would be, we got to go back and multiply, just 4x cubed, and then x cubed times x is x to the 4th, and then what do we do with this term?
Subtract.
Subtract. All right, Mimi, you got stuck. What part?
Just the fact that you went from one to the other one.
Okay, the difference is that with this one, when we got this, we multiplied it, right, and it came out evenly. When we go back and multiply, we've got to make sure that we multiply it the whole thing. X cubed times the x plus 4. So I take x cubed times the 4 to get 4x cubed, and I take x cubed times the x to get x to the fourth. This is a binomial, so there's two terms we've got to multiply by. Got to multiply them by both.
How'd you get x cubed?
Okay, we took x to the fourth divided by x. Okay, and x cubed times x would give me that term. Okay, then we distribute it to both of them. Got to distribute to both of them. Okay, then we subtract, right? Just like long division, we subtract. So if we subtract these, the first term's always going to go away, and then what would we get? What? Negative 2 what?
X to the third.
Negative 2x to the third. Good. Now in division, what do we do with the next one? We bring it down, right? So bring this down. You get minus 13x squared. Okay, now we're going to repeat the same process. So we're not going to do anything different from the rest of this. So we take negative x cubed, this leading term, and divide it by x. What is negative 2x cubed divided by x?
Negative 2x squared.
All right, Mason's tearing it up. All right, give somebody else the opportunity next time.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we get negative 2x squared. I need to have you video every time. You're on fire. All right. Okay, all right, then, now, we repeat the same process. Remember, we divided it by that x, and then we have to multiply and distribute it. Yes, ma'am.
I know the next part.
Go ahead. What would it be underneath that?
Negative 13x.
Wait, where are you getting that? Okay, we've got to take this term and then multiply it by both of those. So negative 2x squared times 4.
Negative 8x squared.
Good. All right. And then the other one will just be the same, right? We would get negative 2x cubed. Now, we're subtracting, right? Which what will happen when we subtract? What will happen to the signs? If you subtract, you change them. So always remember to change these signs after that. Okay? Then we add down negative 13x squared plus 8x squared. What would we get with that? Mimi? You got it? Negative 13x squared plus 8x squared. What would we get?
Negative 4.
Negative 5. Okay. Difference is negative 5, so negative 5x squared. Okay? What's the next step then? What do? We repeat the process. Ashley, what would we do next?
Bring down negative 38.
Good. Bring down the negative 38x. Okay, very good. All right, then what? Okay,
Negative 5x squared divided by x.
which would be?
Negative 5x.
Very good. Negative 5x. Okay, good. Now what do we do with that negative 5x? Mason?
You multiply and distribute.
Okay, so what would that be when we do that?
So negative 5x times x equals negative 5x squared,
Okay.
and then multiply it by 4, which equals negative 20x.
Very good. Okay, and we're going to subtract, meaning we have to do what with the signs, Cammy? Change the signs. Okay, so these both negative, change the signs, and then add them, and what would come next? Making sure that we're okay. Haven't made a mistake yet. Okay,
Negative 18x.
good. Negative 18x. Then what? Mimi, you got it. Bring down the negative 24. Good.
Divided by x.
Yes, which would be what? So negative 18x divided by x.
18.
Or minus 18, make sure we get the right sign. Good. Distribute that. Yes?
You take negative 18 times x and get negative 18x, and then multiply negative 18 times 4.
Which gives me negative 72. So it doesn't matter if I take that multiplied by the x or multiply it by the 4, right? Doesn't matter which order I do it, just to make sure that this is in the right order. And then what?
Change the signs.
Change the signs, good. Okay, and then so 72 minus 24 would be 48. That's my remainder. So we would write, go ahead, Caitlin.
48 over x plus 4.
Very good. Okay. We good on this? Usually one of the more challenging ones, so y'all are doing a good job. Yes, sir.
They don't call this video's already about 10 minutes. They don't call it long division for nothing.
It is long, yes.
Yes,
okay,
very.
Process, but it, just like anything else, it'll be rewarding later on when we do this. When we use more practical things for it. All right, let's skip over then. I think we're doing good. Now, do you all remember what happens if there's a missing term? For instance, what if there was no x squared? Do you remember what you fill in for its place? You probably need to go over that. You know what? For the sake of the video, Mason, would you stop it? And then we'll start it again?
So
Because it might not.
Press the square.
I'll just press the pause, okay?
And then we'll start it again.